and welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and if this is the first video of mine that you're catching, welcome. My name is Rachel and I'm a reseller on sites like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Depop, and I primarily source online through mystery boxes, through different liquidation companies or secondhand companies, and that's how I source my reseller stores. Anytime I open a new box, I come on this channel, I show you what comes inside, and I come back a few months later and let you know how the box actually did based on what I was able to sell. So today we are doing a recap on the AYR box that I bought from Helpsy Source, which is now called NUSOURCE. They have rebranded, but at the time it was Helpsy Source, so that's what I'm going to call it for this video. And if you want to see how I did with this box, definitely stick around. I was very excited to get this box because AYR, and I don't thrift much. I haven't in, several years now. But it's always been sort of a bolo brand for me, and a brand that I know that I want to pick up, I want to find. So when I was able to get a whole box of a brand that I know is a bolo brand, I get excited about it and I want to try it. So this one was very highly anticipated for me. It was a 40-piece box. Everything in the box was new in like poly bags. They didn't have retail tags. So I did have to list everything as new without tag, or at least I chose to. I know some people that bought this box chose to list it as new with tag, but explain that it came in like a bag instead of like no retail tags. But I paid $554 for this box, or $13.65 per piece, which is hefty for a mystery box, but I really felt like there was a good chance I could do well with this. So what I'll do today, I'll show you what has sold. I'll go over from lowest sale price to highest. I'll show you what I have left. And then at the very end, I'll kind of analyze again. I'll re-rate the box based on the ease of listing, quality of items, and overall profitability. I did rate the box initially, so I'll link the original unboxing video down below if you want to go back and watch that one. And make sure you subscribe if you like videos like this. I love showing you these updates. I love looking back at these to see how a box did. And like I said, I hope that these help you with your own reseller business and making some decisions about what kind of sourcing you want to do. This box is not available on Helpsy or NUSOURCE anymore. But if you are shopping on NUSOURCE, I do have a code for 10% off of your order. I have that link down below too. It works on pretty much everything. So if you're shopping on the site, take 10% off with code OHYEAH, OHYEAH. It is an affiliate code, but you'll get 10% off your entire order if you plug that in when you're shopping. So out of the 40 pieces, I have sold 27. So I have 13 left. And I listed this stuff back in, majority of it was listed back in March. So we're going on 4 months, 5 months on this, which I guess is okay because it's had some good time to get through the summer season, like spring and summer. And this box was a good mix of all seasons. There was some spring stuff, some summer stuff, some fall stuff. So I feel like it's had a decent amount of time. I will say a little bit of a spoiler alert. A lot of what's left is the fall and winter stuff. So it is what it is, but I didn't want to let it go much longer because the actual sales of this stuff have kind of started to slow down. So anyway, and just for statistical purposes, I guess, overwhelming majority of this stuff sold on Poshmark. I did list it on all of my platforms. It hasn't been on Depop as long because I've only been selling on Depop a little over 2 months at this point. But majority of it sold on Poshmark despite having it listed on all my platforms. So just so you know, this was definitely a Poshmark popular brand. So the first thing to sell, and actually the first couple, are the same exact pair of shorts because I got multiple pair of the same shorts in this box. They were the waffle cone short. They were the color seashell, and they were literally like a waffle knit lounge short in an off-white color. Majority I had were their size small, but there was one size large. So the first ones to sell were a size small. They sold on Poshmark in July for $20 by offer. Now, when I say by offer, that means that, so I have Posture VA, and one of the things that Posture VA does is send offer to likers for me automatically on Poshmark. So I have it set to send a 10% off with discounted shipping 5 minutes after somebody likes the item. So when I say it was sold by offer, somebody liked the item, they got the 10% off discounted shipping after they liked it 5 minutes later, and they purchased the item based on that offer. So that's been worth its weight in gold. I'm not sending offers all day. I catch that person while they're still on the app, they're still shopping. It doesn't always work, but it definitely works sometimes, and it keeps me from having to do it all the time by myself. So anyway, $20 with the discounted shipping. You know, with Poshmark offers, when you do discounted shipping, you pay that discounted shipping. You pay the difference in the shipping amount. So not the best sale if we're talking cost per piece, but I had so many of those shorts, and by mid-July, time is not on your side to sell summer stuff. So I was fine to go ahead and let those go because I had several of them. Here's another pair. These sold for $20, not by offer. Somebody offered me $20, and these sold also in the beginning of July. These were the size large of the same shorts. Here's another pair of size small. These also sold for $20, not by offer, so I didn't have to pay the shipping discount. These sold in June, so clearly that was the sweet spot price for these shorts. You know, as with any mystery box, some of the pieces are going to sell lower, some higher. Hopefully it all averages out to profit in the end, so I wasn't too concerned about these selling. At the end of the day, I was kind of just barely breaking even, but that's okay. I had the original tee in pink. This was a men's shirt. This one sold in June on Poshmark for $20 by offer. Again, this was a new without tag plain pink t-shirt, so wasn't expecting miracles here, but I was glad that it sold. Here's another pair of waffle cone shorts. There's so many of these. These sold for $25 on Poshmark, not by offer. So that's sort of my strategy with this kind of stuff. As we approach that 4-month, 5-month mark, and especially as the season starts to change over, I start dropping the price. So the ones that sold a little sooner in the summer would have sold for a higher amount. And then as I drop the price, you see the price go down. So these sold in the beginning of June for $25. These were a size medium, so a different size than the other ones. Here's another size small. These sold for $30 in June, but they sold in a bundle. So I actually had them listed higher than $30, and $30 was the bundle price for this one pair of shorts. So I did get a little more for them, you know, in the beginning of the summer, and then as the season wore on, I dropped the price. This was the Dive Disco Jacket in plaid. I think this was a size men's. Some of the stuff I really couldn't tell if it was men's or women's. I think, you know, this being more of a minimalist brand, I do think some of the stuff was intentionally unisex, but I did list this one as men's. It was a size small, and it sold on Poshmark for $35. I do think maybe I could have gotten a little more for this because it was more of a fall winter type piece, but somebody offered me $35, I'm pretty sure, and I did go ahead and accept it, being that it was a size small. And by then I had kind of figured out that the men's stuff was not doing as well as the women's, so I didn't want to lose out on the sale. The offer was halfway decent. I did go ahead and accept it. Then I had the Go Team Polo in Bocce Blue. This was also men's in a size small. This one sold out for $40 on Poshmark. This one sold in May. So based on the MSRP and the comps, I think $40 was a fair amount for this one. This was not sold by offer. Probably somebody sent me an offer on this one as well. But again, I did decide to go ahead and take it just based on the performance at that point. I had the Beat Drop jeans in straw hat. These were a size 34. These were sold on Poshmark by offer for $42. Probably, again, maybe could I have gotten a little bit more? Maybe, but a 34 is a big size for white jeans. So I tend to not sit on white jeans that are bigger because it is sort of a right buyer situation, and I am happy with a $42 sale on those. I had the staycation shorts in black linen, my one and only Depop sale from this box. I do boost all of my Depop items. If you're a Depop seller, you really don't pay any fees on Depop except for like a payment processing fee. If you boost your item though, you do pay an 8% fee. I boost everything because why not? Even at 8%, that's the lowest percentage of any platform. So, but anyway, I sold these on Depop for $50, which I thought was more than fair. They were black linen shorts. They were size extra small, and they sold mid-June. So that all lined up with what I was expecting for that item. Then there was the Scout dress in black. This Scout dress, for whatever reason, got a ton of interest. But it didn't sell for super high. And I still have 2, I think, of this dress. So it was a strange situation. But this one sold for $50 on Poshmark. I think someone sent me an offer on that one too. And by that point, I was like sick of looking at them because I had had so many likes and no actual takers that $50 was a halfway decent offer. I did accept it. I had the top floor jeans in Press Pass. These were a size 29 short. I sold these on Poshmark for $50. These sold pretty quickly after I listed them. And if I remember correctly, these had a flaw. So this is one of their this brand's most popular style of jeans, but I sold them for much less than I probably could have because of the flaw. And even with the flaw, they sold pretty quickly. So there's that. I had the Super Vroom Vroom jeans in a size 25, so small size, but these sold in June for $51. So that aligned up pretty nicely with my target profit for those. Here's another pair of waffle cone shorts in small. These actually sold on eBay for $53.99. So I had these listed much higher than on Poshmark, and somebody bought them at my higher price. At $53.99, I probably had them listed at $60, and they were either on sale or I sent an offer. So, hey, I'll take it. $60 was not the sweet spot for these on Poshmark, clearly, because they all sold at the $25 mark. But maybe I should have waited for the right buyer on eBay. I don't know. I had the Beat Drop jeans in Ciao Bella. I think I had 2 pairs of these. These were a size 25. They sold for $57 on Poshmark by offer. So I had them listed at probably $65, and then that offer went out. And these sold at the end of May. So happy with that sale. I had the Deep End silk shirt in Shiitake, and this one sold on Poshmark for $58. I'm pretty sure I had this originally listed at $65. I did a 10% off closet clear out drop, and I think that's when this one sold. This one sold at the beginning of June. There was the Really Really jeans in Saltwater. These were a size 33, so again, a bigger size. There was a pretty decent mix of sizes in this box, I will say. These sold on eBay in April, so these took right about 30 days, and they sold for $58 on eBay. I think somebody sent me an offer on those. There was the Deep End shirt in linen stripe. This one sold in 3 days on Poshmark for $60. I guess this was a more popular style because it really did not take long to sell at all. There was the 2 Days sweater in Bocce Blue. This one actually sold in July. I did start to price drop this stuff right before I was ready to film the video. And I also do a big price drop right before I delist and relist, just because if I can sell it really quick, I don't have to worry about delisting and relisting. When I do a delist and relist, I do it not just on Poshmark, but I do it on all my platforms. So if it was just one platform, it wouldn't be a lot of work. But when it's 5 platforms, it is a lot of work. And so if I can sell it really quick and avoid the work it takes to delist and relist, I do. And that's why I price drop about a week before I am set to do the delist and relist. And I was able to sell these. I was able to sell this shirt, this sweater, for $64 on Poshmark. So, hey, I'll take it. Then there was the Deep End corduroy shirt in Tahitian Vanilla. This one sold in 5 weeks on eBay for $65. This is one of the, I would say, more sought after styles from this brand. So not surprised that they were the quickest to sell. This Tahitian Vanilla, if I remember correctly, was no longer offered on the website. So it was like a discontinued color. And I think more of a winter color, like a winter white, but I'll take a springtime sale on that one for sure. Here's the other Beat Drop jeans in Ciao Bella. This one was also a size 25. These sold on Poshmark. These were only listed 9 days, and they sold for $65. So, hey, I'll take it. I'm pretty sure that was my full asking. The next two are actually really surprising. They're the same exact jeans, same exact size, and they were a size 23, which is small. That's a triple zero. So I didn't actually have high hopes for these, but these are up at the top of the countdown, and they both sold within, my gosh. So the first ones I listed on March 17th, and they sold on April 2nd on Poshmark for $68. So what, they were listed 2 weeks. And then that same day, I relisted on Poshmark the second pair. I only list one pair at a time. So on April 2nd, I listed the second pair, and they sold on April 19th for $75. So they actually sold for more. The first ones probably got hit with a closet clear out. And then the second ones never even had the chance. They just sold outright for my $75 asking price. So that was very surprising. It must be a really popular style, because to me, a size 23 is an odd size, and I did not expect to sell those quickly. And not only did they sell quickly, but they sold pretty high. So, every once in a while I get a nice, pleasant surprise. Then I had the Beat jeans. Okay, so these were the same jeans in a different color and a different size. These were the color Uni. They were a size 33, and these were only listed less than 3 weeks as well. These were an $80 Poshmark sale too, so a very quick sale on these. There was the special sauce jeans in the color Nori. These were a size 26 short. These also sold on Poshmark for $80, and they were only listed for 4 days. So I love the quick high flips. These did not disappoint. And, I expected that the jeans and the pants were going to do substantially better than some of the shirts, which it appears that way so far. And now we're at the last two on the countdown. The first one being the airport cardi in the color Sweet Cream, which again, I think was a discontinued color, or at least not available on the site at the time I was listing these. This one was a size small, and it sold for $85 on Poshmark. This one had a ton of likes really quickly, but I held out accepting lowball offers because I was really confident that somebody would come along and pay my full price, and they did. This one sold in the beginning of May, so it was listed about 6 weeks and sold for $85 on Poshmark. And the best sale by far on this box was the Kickback Crew Sweater in camel. I think this was 100% cashmere. This one sold on Poshmark. It did take 3 months, 1 week shy of 3 months, but it ended up selling on Poshmark for $145. Being that it was cashmere, I think I did list it a bit higher than that. Probably had this listed originally upwards of $200, and $145 in the middle of summer though for a cashmere sweater. I will absolutely take it. I may have been able to get more if I held out, but I wasn't going to pass. It was a size small, and it was a men's sweater, so I didn't want to lose out on the potentially really high sale. So that's everything that sold. I do have a few left. I have 13 pieces left. The first one being the other Scout dress. This one is the same color, but I had a small and an extra small. So the size small, people went crazy over. The size extra small in the exact same dress has no interest. It's weird how that's happened, but I guess it is what it is. Then I have the Yadi Moma sweater. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, please forgive me. I am the queen of mispronouncing style names. But this one is a size extra large, and I was surprised to see that this was men's, but I guess the colorway does kind of look more like a men's colorway. This is still here, but this one has not had a fall season yet. I listed this stuff in March, so I am pretty confident that I will be able to sell this when fall season rolls around pretty soon here. So I'm not mad about this one. Here's another Scout dress in navy blue. Again, no interest on the extra small, even though I had a ton of interest on the small. And I actually have 2 of these. Neither one has sold. So yeah, it's kind of weird how that happens. Here's the other Yadi Moma sweater. Moma, I don't know. This one's a size medium. Same story with this one. Not sold yet, but fully confident I'll get some more interest as we roll into fall. This is the Normie Cowboy jean. This was the only pair of men's jeans, and this one has not sold. These were a size 38 by 30, so I'm not quite sure what the deal is with these, but hopefully they sell in the fall as well. I've got the other original tee. Again, this was just a plain pink t-shirt. This was men's. I sold the large. I still have the extra large. Again, it is a plain pink t-shirt. So all seasons, no seasons, I don't know. Then I have the Sloop sweater in fuzzy TV. This is men's as well. This is an extra small. This is a sweater. So extra small is not the greatest size to sell for men, obviously, but we'll see what happens come fall with this one. I've got the BLT hoodie in prints. I have no idea why this is called the BLT hoodie. It's literally purple, but it's a size extra large. So again, hopefully in the fall, I can sell this one as well. There's the deep end corduroy shirt. This one is women's. This is the color Chipwich. Again, very fall piece, corduroy, fully confident I'll sell this one soon. Here's the BLT sweater in bocce blue. This is an extra small in men's. Same story with this one as with the other men's stuff, hopefully soon because of fall. Here's the 2-a-day sweater in the same color, bocce blue. This is a really thick, heavy men's sweater, so I'm hoping I can sell this one come fall as well. And then one lonely pair of Really Really jeans in saltwater. I sold the Really Really jeans in saltwater. I had 2 of these in the same size, a size 33. One pair sold relatively quickly on eBay within a couple weeks, and then this pair is still just like sitting. So again, I don't really know like how or why that happened, but it did. So that's everything I have left. If you're interested in anything, check out eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop. I am still trying to sell this stuff off, especially with fall coming up. These are perfect pieces for the season. So fingers crossed I can move a few more of these that I have left. So let's recap this box. Ease of listing. The only complaint I had, well, I guess I have 2 complaints. Number 1, this box was advertised as new with tag, but it really wasn't. It was new without tag. And without keeping everything in the original packaging, which it was hard to do to take photos of it, I really couldn't sell it as new without tag or as new with tag. Now, I didn't find that it necessarily lowered the value. I mean, I guess I don't know because I've never compared it to new with tag sales, but considering I still got decent amounts for what has sold. And so I'm not necessarily like mad about it, but I will say like that was a big downfall. I would have still bought the box at new without tag. I wish it would have just been advertised that way, I guess. And it was very hard to find stock photos on majority of these things. So I did have to rely on my own photos, which granted, you know, I think I take pretty decent photos, but when things are brand new, I do like to show them in a stock photo when possible. Just to show like how they're styled or what they look like on a person. And I unfortunately couldn't do that with many of these. So there's that, but everything was top quality, brand new in the package. And I guess that this brand doesn't put retail tags on stuff that they sell online, which makes perfect sense. Probably a lot of retailers are moving in that direction, but it was all really good quality stuff. And there was a really great mix of jeans and shirts in summer and winter. So I was overall really happy with the quality of the box and with the items in the box. What it's going to come down to is the profitability. So what did I say? $554? Yeah, I spent $554 on this box, and that's with shipping and after my discount and everything. And as of right now, I've made $941.61. So if I take that $941.61 and minus my $554 initial investment, I've made $387 on the box. So I have not quite doubled my money, which on a box of stuff that I pay up for, I do want to hit double. So I'm not quite there. However, there's a lot of substantial pieces, or pretty much everything I have left, I would say is substantial. I mean, there's a t-shirt, but a lot of sweaters that are high dollar that are just waiting for the right season to roll around. So 1 or 2 more sweaters and I am at double easily. And, you know, I'm going to probably surpass that once I sell off a few sweaters. So that being said, and everything else considered, I'm going to give this box an oh yeah. I really was happy with the performance of this stuff. I was at the break-even mark relatively quickly, and so that's really goal number one, is to make my money back that I've spent so that the rest can be profit. And I don't feel like I sat on too much stuff. I think it really did move pretty quickly, majority of it within that 3 to 4 month range. And now I'm just, like I said, waiting for fall to roll around for the rest of it. So I was generally happy with this box. I absolutely would buy this box again if it became available. Hopefully, as NUSOURCE, they can source the same or similar boxes. That would be wonderful to me. I would be all over it. So please let me know if you ordered this and what your results were. I would definitely love to know. Make sure you subscribe if you like videos like this. I love sharing my results on these boxes and giving you actual numbers when I'm actually had a chance to sell the stuff. And hit that like button on the way out. It lets me know you like these kind of videos and to make more of them. That is it for today, friends. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video.